Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Historic Best of One at one point had a top deck being a artifact, aggro, retrofitter, foundry based deck. With the addition of Modern Horizons 3, we saw this deck get pushed aside in lieu of energy decks and stuff of the nature. What we're going to do now is after the nerf, we're going to see if this deck is still viable with the addition of some Modern Horizon cards to kind of shift the element. The big notable thing is the format. While we still have Wizards, we still have Mono Green Devotion. There's the Persist combo that can win on turn 2. There's Belcher that can win on turn 3. So we want to be a little bit more interactive in terms of the deck. And we do want to play around a new powerful card in Kappa Cannoneer. So this is a card that saw at some point, I believe it still does, some legacy play. It is leveraging, obviously in Legacy, some of the fast mana there, but we have ways to kind of cheat it out earlier. So it has the ability to improvise, so we can tap untapped artifacts to reduce its casting cost. Then when it enters the battlefield, or another artifact you control enters, you get to put a counter on it, and it becomes unblockable for the turn. So a lot of cheap artifacts in the deck, the Retrofitter Foundry, kind of making tokens. We could get this really big, make it unblockable, kind of go to town. So because we're playing the Cannoneer, we're shifting off Luris, and instead we're going to be playing Thought Monitor as a card advantage engine, along with Ingenious Smith. So this should provide us abilities. Thought Monitor can be as little as 1 mana in this deck to draw 2 cards. Imperium Thopterist is a cool alchemy card that is a lord for Thopters, but basically at the beginning of our upkeep every turn, we get an Ornithopter, which allows us to then have endless fuel for our Retrofitter Foundry, as well as 0 mana artifacts to trigger Kappa Cannoneer every turn, or reduce the cost of Thought Monitor. We have our Ornithopters in here. We're also playing 3 Tormod's Crypt. This deals with all the graveyard-based combos of the format, but at the very least, it's 0 mana, and we can use it to just, prop Cannoneer, reduce the cost of Thought Monitor kind of effects. It also triggers like Ingenious Smith's ability. Esper Sentinel for tax, Fragment Reality, Portable Hole as removal, Spell Pierce, and Metallic Rebuke get some cheap counters, and then the Retrofitter Foundry, which is kind of the engine of the deck. It's a great mana sink, gets us a whole bunch of value. 2 Myrex in the mana base. This produces artifact creatures that can also trigger the Cannoneer or the Smith, and is useful against the blue-white control decks if we run into it. Anything with Divine Purge, which hurts our deck quite a bit. And then just 2 Darksteel Citadels. The lands can be broken up by like Purge and stuff like that. So we are going to take it. I'm going to demo some games with the deck and see how it kind of feels overall. And then at the end, I will do a wrap up. This is going to be a testing video. So we really want to see how this kind of holds up in the new meta, or if we're still seeing this archetype get pushed out. This deck was suggested to me by one of my viewers. They had a more aggressively slanted version with Mashiko. I'm interested in kind of shifting it up, but the shells and the idea is kind of there. So join me in the games, and we will catch you at the end for a wrap-up. Thanks for watching. Jumping into a match. We got Kappa, we got Reasonable Hand. The Wizards, could be the combo. We're going to save this for next turn for Ingenious Smith. This is Jeskai, either Torpor Orb or Control. I don't want a... just Jangantha-less Wizards. That's fine for the following turn. Maybe should have gone Thopterist. One, two, so we're 1 off if we draw another Thopter. I mean, if that taxes their whole turn, it's fine. Fine to take 3 here. So we did hit Rebuke. whiffing there sucks. Because we needed at least a cheap artifact. You're hoping to hit something there. Could be right to get Thopterus going earlier, but it is kind of card advantage. Not hitting an artifact there also means I can't Cannoneer this turn. So I can go 1, 2. Probably take the damage this turn. Main fragment. Going aggressive here. They could just have more burn in hand. I think we do this. Because I could just set up the kill for next turn. And then I have Metallic Rebuke. This gives me a blocker. Plus I have the Rebuke to counter something as well. Take the block. Just full auto pay here. So I can make a 4/4. They probably should have done that pre-combat just because it would have got rid of the blocker at least. So here they're just dead. 7, 12. Good games. Good games. Alright, on the board. Up against Blaze. So notably, we haven't ran into any persist combo yet. Blurus, I'm going to keep the double portable whole hand against them. We do need a threat, but it's likely energy. Bite Souls. That's actually a pretty good draw because I get to counter their next spell. I'll hold the crypt for now. Think we let that go? This lets them copy like their Johnnies or stuff. So drawing another crypt isn't great. This is a little bit of the downside where we're drawing our cheap enablers, but against the wrong deck. We want this against like energy, or against like graveyard combo focused decks, or, you know, we need a Thought Monitor or a Kappa Cannoneer. Take the damage. Let's not gain a life here. You want to spend the spell to deal with my token, you got it. I don't think any of those really warrant. Probably throw a block on Soul Warden if they attack in. They've successfully shocked themselves 3 times. Sure. They can go Lurrus to hand maybe if they just want to play it slow. Doubling Ocelote's Pride seems scary. Can we... just draw like an actual spell? That would be awesome. Guide of Soul's really annoying here. They're able to... actually, they paid an energy, so they can't do it this turn. I'm able to block here. Create a Thopter here. I think this is take out the guide angle. I have the 3rd Galvanic. Oh my god, so many lands. I think we gotta get rid of Guide of Souls here. Super frustrating. Like if we hit Cannoneer, we're pretty solid. If we hit... like they took 4 lands off the top, which would have been pretty backbreaking for them. Hit Ocelotes, so... or Cotton. Any attacks, friend? Guess we go the block here. I clicked through that a little too quick. Okay, give me something. Give me something good. That is something good. You're already just 1 mana, so we'll take that. You are something good. Alrighty! Hung around long enough to steal that one. Woo! Alright, catch me in the wrap-up section. Bun Slapper is our next opponent. I mean, and doesn't do too much, but we can kind of draw out of it potentially, get the Ornithopter going. The Kappa Cannoneer, there's a lot of cheap artifacts, same for Affinity. I think we give this a shot. I'm also curious to see how these hands play. If they are like a graveyard combo deck, we just laugh. If they're energy, we cry. Interesting nonetheless to see how this plays out. They're Belcher. We definitely do want counter spells here. It's important that we just slow down their energy production here. Part of the problem is though that they'll likely have like cheap removal. We do need a counter spell. If we can find a counter spell, we probably win, because they usually go kind of all in. And Magma Opus. Oh, we could just die next turn. Second Foundry doesn't do too much. Gonna exile their graveyard. This is a match where we have 5 answers. The problem is we kept the hand good against one combo deck, not the other. Hopefully they don't have the removal this turn. So March. None of that does much. So the nice thing here is this will get me out of range, because I can make it 4. I'm just gonna play that out for this turn. So what we really want here, Kappa Cannoneer, Thought Monitor. With them binning this suggests that they're missing the Belcher. Gamble and Mad Song. Could gamble here, try to find Belcher. One in 3 shot, they whiff. Iron Craig feet, not. I should have played the other land there. Probably didn't need the second Foundry. They can play Belcher here. They've now been to Iron Craigs. Hope they don't have the third. And we got him. Okay, so slowed them down a little that they couldn't just do that. They obviously went on the Belcher. If they found Belcher, they beat us there. So we had to dodge a bit, but that's sometimes what you just have to do. Put some pressure, disrupt a little, and hope you get there. Alrighty, Freeman. What you got? And looks reasonable. Again, tax on 1, this on 2. If they show that they're the graveyard combo, we have this to refill our hand. Sort of Gruul aggro. Not the best hand there. They are super aggressive. Sparkfire Hero. On a pay here. blocks. We have to be mindful of like Fling in this deck most likely. So they're just the standard deck. So here I can go like Thopter, Thopter. Problem is I can't hold up counter spells. Portable Hole will be nice. Just gotta try to survive this turn, really. Throw a block on the Scamp. Throw a block on Heartfire. Try to keep Smith alive. We put these in our deck, and now we're just not seeing. They just have the Fling. I think we just need to try to block like this. They have another pump, they do. They have the Fling. Like, the Fling is going to kill us anyways, like whether it be Thud or Callous Sellsword. So I don't think it matters there. We just have to hope they don't have it. Looks like they do. So, classic. None of the decisions really mattered. We weren't going to block. I guess if we blocked, we would have been at 1. Actually, no, it didn't, because they had 16 damage, so it didn't really matter there. Jumping into a game. So we actually played against this player already. They're on Gruul Fling. But we do want a reasonable hand here with interaction. Spell Pierce is good. They're on like a Gruul version of the Rakdos aggro in standard. So it sounds a little slower, but Portable Hole on 1 will be good. No double whites, annoying. So I can go Sentinel, hold up Pierce. And then I can have Metallic Rebuke for the follow-up. In the other game, they pretty much never paid the Sentinel tax. Obviously would have loved to go 1, 2, hold up Pierce. No blocks. I think here we Portable Hole and then get Thopters going. I don't know if they have protection in their deck, but I think that's fine. The way their hand was kind of situated, it's interesting that they didn't push a little bit more all in. They just don't have a creature now. Here now I can kind of snowball. One, two, three, four. 5, so I could Kappa Cannoneer here. I'm gonna hold off turn. I want to counterspell if they have a creature. Because like their deck can just somehow fling me for a ton of damage. Like creature, pump effect. It's not unlikely that they can take me out from this point. Not a Thopter. Thopter. Not a Thopter. Thopter. So this is one of the downsides with these types of strategies when you're all in on like the creatures. We saw in the other game, or I guess in the other game, they just kind of curved like one drop, pump, trample, and they kind of got me that way there. So the Emporium makes it so these Ornithopters actually are reasonable outside of the Foundry line. At least we can poke in with some damage. Second Rebuke here. So I want to do it for 3, so I'm going to hold back these. We're going to head this. So this gives me Spell Pierce up as well as Metallic Rebuke. I guess in that case, I should have waited because I could have put the Ornithopter on it. Come on, give me a card draw. So they're digging here. We can see how the deck kind of snowballs from this point. We're able to hold up permission while keep putting threats out. Them being 0 mana is useful. Now we have the engine where Emporium will get the Ornithopter. That gives this Kappa Cannoneer unblockable. They were missing creatures up to this point. We'll just counter here. Like the only way we could somehow lose is some weird combination of effects like that. Slick shot. Play this out. This is another Lord, and now we smack in on the damage. Cannoneer is unblockable. We have like 12 power. From there. Sweet. That one was cool. Wrap up time. We went 6-3 over all our games with the deck. We didn't run into any of the persist combo today. I was 2-0 yesterday, so we went 4-3 today for videos. The Boros Energy matchup still feels a little tough. We ended up doing more Tormod's Crypt, thinking we were going to run into more combo. Instead, we didn't. We ended up just running into a lot of Boros Energy today as opposed to yesterday. That said, you probably want to go 2-2 with Fragment Reality and Tormod's Crypt. The problem is the energy deck still generates a lot of 2-for-1 value. The hands where we had like the Thought Monitor really helped kind of pull us ahead. The other consideration is to bring back something like a Shadow Spear. Just give you another option there. A lot of your plays take like 2 to 3 turns to set up, which can potentially run you down. The disruptive elements, the Spell Pierce, the Metallic Rebuke all felt strong. I don't know if you necessarily want to go full affinity with like Frogmites and stuff like that, because those cards still require you to commit to the board to some extent, which could be a little slow, all things considered. So I think that deck is reasonable. I don't think it's tier 1 like it used to, just given the speed of the format's kind of picked up. You could still do like the Mashiko version, but you're still requiring some setup there. They can gum up the board pretty well. So like you'd have to kind of get lucky with an Ornithopter, an evasive creature, kind of go from there. Retrofitter Foundry is still a great mana sink, helping you kind of control the board. All things considered, like we're 3-0 against Wizards decks, like any prowess decks, which feels good. It's the energy side, so kind of punting some, losing the others. All in all, I think makes for a reasonable deck. Not, like I said, tier 2. Tier 2 fine. You can win games. Seems cool. The Thought Monitor played a lot better than Cannoneer, just providing you like volume of cards. Feel like once we got the engine of Foundry going, it didn't really matter what our top end was. Whereas like Cannoneer was whatever. I wonder if you almost go like a Johnny in here, just as another kind of token maker. Reasonable threat kind of mixed into there. The alternative is you go like Guide of Souls maybe to help you with the life gain. Gives you some energy, makes your things bigger, evasive. That could be another angle. You make a lot of cheap creatures, so that's something to consider as you kind of play through the deck. But let me know what you think in the comments if you've been running any sort of deck like this, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.